Taurus, the people around you have already started looking at you differently. Have you noticed that lingering look that wasn't there before? That second of hesitation when someone sees you, as if trying to pinpoint what's changed. You may even be trying to ignore it, pretending not to notice the curious glances, the veiled questions, the increased attention you've been receiving. But your body knows. You feel it when they enter a room and heads turn, even subtly. You notice when conversations pause for a second as you pass by, and it makes you uncomfortable in a way you can't explain to anyone. There's something changing in you that's impossible to hide. It's not just physical, although your body may be reflecting this shift as well. It's an energetic transformation, so profound that it's seeping through your skin, radiating through your presence, magnetizing the attention of those around you in ways you've never experienced before. And the truth no one told you is, this will only intensify. In the coming days and weeks, you will become impossible to ignore, and that scares you, doesn't it? Because you, Taurus, have always preferred discretion. You've always liked to build your own affairs in silence, to have your life organized without fanfare, to be respected, but not necessarily the center of attention. You value stability, predictability, the ability to control your environment and interactions. But what's happening now is beyond your control. It's as if the universe has decided to put you in a spotlight, and no matter how much you try to hide or minimize your presence, you're shining in a way that attracts glances, comments, interest, admiration, and yes, also envy. What's causing this? It's a combination of elements converging right now in your life. Something internal that you've been working on, perhaps without even consciously realizing it, is finally maturing and manifesting visibly. It could be a renewed confidence that shines through in the way you move through the world. It could be an inner peace you've finally achieved after difficult times, and this peace radiates like a light of its own. It could be decisions you've made to prioritize your well-being, to invest in yourself, to stop diminishing yourself, to fit other people's expectations. Whatever it is, the result is that you've become magnetic in a way you didn't plan or expect. And now you have to deal with the consequences of this involuntary but inevitable transformation. Because drawing attention when you're unprepared, when your nature prefers backstage to stage, when you value privacy over exposure, is uncomfortable and sometimes even frightening. Have you ever noticed how some people you once knew started acting strangely around you, as if there was suddenly a distance that hadn't existed before? Some made seemingly innocent comments that carried something more, a criticism disguised as concern, a question that was actually an inquiry, a compliment that sounded more like resentment. This is happening because your transformation is shining a light on what these people don't have the courage to change about themselves. Your brilliance is exposing the shadows in others, and not everyone has the maturity to deal with this in a healthy way. For Tauruses born between April 20th and April 30th, this attention will come primarily through professional or social recognition. People will begin to see you as a role model, as someone who has answers, as a presence that stabilizes environments. For those born between May 1st and 10th, magnetism will manifest itself more in personal relationships. You'll attract romantic interest in unexpected ways. New friendships will blossom, and people will want to be around your energy. For those born between May 11th and 20th, attention will come through your creative expression or the way you present yourself to the world. Something about your appearance, your style, or the way you communicate is capturing the imagination of others. But regardless of how this manifests specifically for you, the feeling is the same. A mix of surprise, discomfort, and perhaps even a bit of fear. Fear that this attention will be temporary and you'll soon be invisible again. Fear that you won't be able to sustain this level of presence. Fear that the expectations people will place on you will be impossible to meet. Fear of envy, of the evil eye, of the negative energies that always accompany when someone begins to shine brighter than usual. Taurus, I need to tell you something that perhaps no one else has the courage to say clearly. You were made for this. Not to be just another person. Not to live a small, discreet life where no one notices you. Not to hide behind false modesty or a comfort zone that protects you, but also limits you. You have within you qualities that are rare, valuable, magnetic, and they are finally emerging in a way that can no longer be ignored. The emotional stability you cultivate is like an oasis in the desert for people living in chaos. Your ability to create beauty, to transform spaces and environments, to bring order where there is confusion. This is a gift that is becoming increasingly visible. Your solid, reliable, genuine presence in a world full of superficiality and falsehood. This naturally attracts the attention of those who still have the sensitivity to recognize what is real. And you don't have to do anything special to get that attention. You don't have to try, force, or fake it. In fact, the more you simply allow yourself to be who you are, the more you honor your own nature without apologizing for it, the more magnetic you become. It's as if the universe is finally giving you permission to occupy the space that's always been yours, but which you've been refusing for fear of how people would react. Taurus, I know there's a part of you that wants to reject all of this, that wants to minimize what's happening, return to the safety of anonymity, hide back in your comfort zone where no one watches you so closely. You're feeling the weight of what it means to finally be seen completely, without filters, without protections, and this scares you because it means vulnerability, exposure, the risk of being judged or misunderstood. But what if I told you that this attention you're receiving is neither an accident nor a curse? What if it's exactly what you need to become the most powerful and fulfilled version of yourself? What if the universe is pushing you to center stage because it knows you have something valuable to offer, something that only you can bring in your unique way? Leave a comment now saying, I'm ready to shine without fear of what people think. This isn't vanity or selfishness. It's you recognizing your own worth, accepting that you deserve to be seen and celebrated, allowing your light to illuminate not only your own life, but also the lives of those around you who need this inspiration. When you write this sentence, you're making a pact with yourself to no longer hide, to no longer dim your shine, to avoid upsetting others' insecurities. And your courage in declaring this may inspire other Tauruses who are going through the same transformation, but are still afraid to fully embrace it. The truth about this attention you're receiving is that it's merely the external reflection of an internal transformation that's been happening for longer than you realize. You didn't wake up this way overnight. It's been months, perhaps years, of silent work on yourself, of conscious choices to become better, of moments where you chose your well-being over pleasing others, of situations where you set boundaries even when it created discomfort, of decisions to invest in yourself when it would have been easier to continue neglecting your needs. All of this has built a solid foundation, very characteristic of your sign, upon which now stands a version of you that's impossible to ignore. People notice when someone finally stops cheating on themselves, when someone starts living in alignment with their core truth, when someone decides to stop carrying burdens that aren't theirs. And this creates a specific vibration, a kind of presence that naturally and effortlessly attracts attention. The discomfort you feel with this increased attention stems from the fact that you're being forced to update your self-image. For a long time, you may have seen yourself as ordinary, perhaps even commonplace, someone who works hard, is reliable, but doesn't particularly stand out in any way. This self-image protected you from expectations, pressures, and risks. But it also limited you, kept you small, and prevented you from recognizing and fully developing your unique gifts. Now, external reality is contradicting this limited self-image. People see you differently than you see yourself. They recognize qualities in you that you minimize or ignore, and this creates an uncomfortable cognitive dissonance. You must choose between the old, secure image of yourself or the new image that is being reflected back to you through the eyes and reactions of others. The choice may seem daunting, but it's actually liberating. Because when you finally accept that you've become someone who naturally commands attention, inspires and magnetizes, you stop fighting your own evolved nature. You stop trying to hide. You stop apologizing for taking up space. And in that moment of acceptance, something magical happens. The attention that once seemed threatening becomes simply a natural reflection of your authentic presence. But I'd be dishonest if I didn't talk about the hardest part of all this, envy. Because yes, along with admiration and genuine interest, you'll also attract envious glances, nasty comments, and subtle attempts to belittle you. Some people will feel threatened by your brilliance. They'll try to find flaws, spread rumors, and question your achievements. They'll interpret your growing confidence as arrogance, your inner peace as indifference, and your success as undeserved luck. This will hurt, especially for you who value harmony and stability in your relationships. You'll wonder if it's worth shining if it means losing people you once considered friends. There will be moments when you'll want to dim your own shine just to regain the peace you had when you were less noticed. You'll question whether perhaps it would be better to return to the shadows, where you felt safer even if less fulfilled. But here's what you need to understand. The people who truly love you will celebrate your transformation. They'll be happy to see you blossom. They'll be inspired by your growth instead of feeling diminished by it. The people who react with envy or try to sabotage you were never truly yours. They were just convenient companions who benefited from the smaller, more manageable version of you. Leaving these people behind, even when it hurts, is a necessary part of the process. You can't remain small to make others feel great. You can't hide your brilliance to protect others' insecurities. You can't sacrifice your potential to maintain relationships based on your limitations. That would be a betrayal not only of yourself, but also of your greater purpose. The attention you're receiving now is just the beginning. In the coming months, it will intensify even further. Opportunities will arise that previously seemed impossible. Influential people will notice you. Doors will open that were closed when you were more discreet. And you'll have to make important choices about which of these opportunities to accept, which attention to cultivate, and which connections deserve your time and energy. Your Taurian instinct for caution will be crucial here. Not all attention is beneficial. Not every opportunity that arises when you're in the spotlight is worth pursuing. Not every person who suddenly wants to be around you has pure intentions. You'll need to develop discernment about who truly values your essence versus who simply wants to associate with your brilliance for their own benefit. But don't let the fear of being used or misunderstood make you retreat completely. Don't turn the need for discernment into isolating paranoia. There are genuine people who will appear in your life specifically because you are now vibrating at a frequency that resonates with them. Valuable connections, transformative partnerships, deep relationships, all of these can emerge precisely because you've stopped hiding. The caution mentioned in the title isn't about avoiding attention or trying to return to invisibility. It's about being aware that with greater visibility comes greater responsibility. People will observe you more closely. They will notice your words, your actions, your choices. They will place you on pedestals you didn't ask to be placed on. They will project expectations onto you that may be impossible to meet. You'll need to develop an even stronger foundation internally to avoid being overly affected by all these external projections. You'll need to learn to stay centered in your own truth. While so many voices try to tell you who you are or should be, you'll need to cultivate such deep self-confidence that neither exaggerated praise nor unfair criticism can knock you off balance. Taurus, this attention you're receiving will also teach you something important about the nature of visibility. It will show you that being seen fully with all your qualities but also your imperfections is both vulnerable and liberating. Vulnerable because there's nowhere left to hide, no more masks to wear. Liberating because you can finally stop pretending, adapting, trying to be what others expect. When you accept being seen fully, authentically, without filters, something amazing happens. The right people come closer and the wrong ones naturally move away. You no longer have to make an effort to maintain relationships that don't serve you or to attract genuine connections. Authenticity itself makes this selection automatically. And perhaps the most beautiful part of this transformation that's getting so much attention is this: you're becoming a magnet for everything that resonates with your essential truth and a natural repellent to everything that doesn't. This means your life will organize itself in ways that are increasingly aligned with who you truly are, rather than being organized around compromises and adaptations to fit other people's expectations. The attention you're receiving is the universe confirming that you're on the right path, that the choices you've made to prioritize your growth, to invest in your transformation, to become more authentically yourself, all of these choices are paying off. The results are becoming visible not only to you, but to everyone around you. And yes, this will continue to create discomfort at times. There will be moments when you'll want to return to invisibility, to the safety of anonymity. But these moments will pass, and what will remain is a growing certainty that you deserve to be seen, that you have something valuable to offer, that your brilliance is neither an accident nor an illusion. It is a true reflection of who you have become. Taurus, in the coming months, when you feel overwhelmed by attention, remember, you didn't ask for this to happen, but it didn't happen by chance either. It was earned through quiet work, conscious choices, and a commitment to your own growth. And it deserves to be celebrated, not hidden. It deserves to be honored, not minimized. It deserves to be enjoyed, not feared. People will continue to look, they will continue to comment, they will continue to be affected by your presence in ways you won't always understand or control. And that's okay. You don't need to control how people react to you. You just need to continue being authentically you, allowing your transformation to unfold without restriction, trusting that those who need to see it will see it, and those who need to stay away will stay away. The care you need to take isn't avoiding shining. It's ensuring that while you shine, you keep your feet firmly on the ground, that you don't let the attention go to your head or destroy the humility that is an essential part of your Taurian nature, that you don't get lost in other people's projections but remain connected to your inner truth, that you use this growing visibility not to feed your ego, but to create a positive impact, to inspire others, to build something meaningful. Because in the end, Taurus, the attention you're receiving is just that, attention. What you do with it, how you use it, what you build from it, that's what truly matters. And I trust that you, with your solid and conscientious nature, will use this phase of increased visibility not to lose yourself in vanity, but to become even more firmly yourself, even more aligned with your purpose, even more capable of creating the extraordinary life that was always possible for you. If this video made you recognize your own transformation and the discomfort that comes with it, share it in the comments. Other Tauruses are going through the same thing and need to know they're not alone in this experience of finally being seen after so much time building in silence. Subscribe to the channel because your continued evolution deserves constant support. You'll need guidance on how to navigate this growing visibility with grace and authenticity, how to deal with envy and projections, and how to stay centered while so many eyes are on you. Turn on notifications to receive content that will strengthen you in this new phase of greater exposure and impact. You were made to shine. The attention you're receiving is simply recognition of who you truly are. Embrace it, celebrate it, and allow your brilliance to illuminate not only your life, but also inspire everyone privileged to witness your transformation.